Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Returning to Light with Julia Treat, a podcast dedicated to raw truth, real growth, and radical transformation. Welcome to my podcast if you're new, and thank you to all of you who have stuck by me over the past several months and years. It has been one wild ride. I am grateful that we are on this path together, that we are seeking truth, we are experiencing growth, and that we are experiencing radical transformation, even when it is so uncomfortable to do so. I want to dedicate today's podcast to our fur babies, to those that are living and those that have passed on or crossed over or whatever the term is that you use. I have been very fortunate to have the ability or the gift. Well, I think we all have it actually, but I really did work at it. I worked at fine-tuning my gifts. But I can communicate with my dogs, Macy and Gracie. I can ask them things when there's something going on. I can also communicate with pets that are departed. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about both. And a recent, something that happened recently with Macy. She's my little black fur baby. I have two Havanese. They're both girls. Their names are Macy and Gracie, and I did not name them. And they came from two different states. They were from two different states. They had already been named, and they came with those names. So it's kind of funny. And I'm going to talk about what happened with Macy recently, but also it happened while I was visiting my mother in Kansas. I have been flying to Kansas every month for going on, next month will be 2 years. Going every single month to just hang out with her, help her when she's not doing well, trying to help her create new memories. So it's been a long 2 years. It's been, I'm there every single month. And if you aren't aware of why that was happening, my younger brother, Jeremy, he passed away, and my dad passed away within a month of each other. 2 years ago, maybe 2 years. Yeah. My brother actually passed away September 11th, and my dad passed away on October 13th, I believe. So, just the backstory, so you know, like, why I was there, and I go there often, but this last trip was a few weeks ago. And I was packing and getting ready, and, Michael always takes me to the airport so I can catch my plane. And I was saying goodbye to Macy and Gracie, and I had this heart tug of emotion, and I thought I was going to cry all of a sudden. And I just heard this voice, something say, "It's the last time you're ever going to see her or them." I was like, "What?" So I felt it, but I didn't decide where that came from or what it was or if it was the truth. Okay, I just heard that message. And I kind of just took it, imagine me just pretending, taking your hand and pulling that thought right out of your head and throwing it out into the ether. Just threw it out there. I don't have time for this crap. I don't have time for this. Now, I will say that something else popped in my head because 2 weeks before that, Macy had thrown up outside and it actually had blood in it. Okay, now I am not a panicker. I don't run to the vet at any little thing that happens. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. You're going to find out why because I can tune in and say, "Hey, what you need? You need me to do something? What do you need from me?" Macy and Gracie always come to me when they don't feel good. It doesn't happen often. They're pretty much well most of the time. Just once in a while they might have a stomach issue or something. And they will come to me because they want me to do Reiki on them. It's pretty cool that they do that. So, okay, I get on the plane, I go to my mom's. I get there and she's like, Lacey hasn't been eating. She hasn't eaten all day today, and she didn't eat, maybe a couple bites yesterday, which is unusual for Lacey. That's my mother's dog. I said, all right, I just went into automatic mode. I said, let's just deworm her. Okay, when Lacey, my mom's dog, starts acting like that, doesn't want to eat, we just deworm her. We order Pan-Cure C. It's what it's called on Amazon. And by the way, I'm not giving you any medical advice for your pets, okay? If you decide to do any of this, that's on you. I'm just telling you what I did for my mom's dog, and it does lead into what happened with Macy. Right? Macy was fine when I left, okay? Now I'm dealing with my mom's dog, Lacey. We start the dewormer. And the only way that we give it to her is with boiled chicken with some broth and the dewormer powder in there because we want to make sure she eats all of it up, right? We want her to gobble it all up. And the boxes come in 3 packets. You get 3 packets, so they get it for 3 days straight. Well, by the third day, Lacey was fine. Okay. On day two of giving her the dewormer, Mike texts me and he says, Julia, I don't know what to do. Macy, she's not eating. She didn't eat yesterday and she won't eat anything today. And I was like, oh boy, oh no. Like, remember the thing I heard right before I left? It's the last time you're going to see her. I can't remember if it was the last time I'm going to see her or them, but whatever it was. And I threw that message out into the ether. So I said, okay, let me just work on this. Let me just see what happens. He tried all kinds of things, changing up the food a little, tried to hand feed her, nothing. She wouldn't take it. And he could tell she really was, after 2 days of not eating, she was starting to really get, no energy and all this. So I got my little quiet space and I just tuned in to her and I started to talk to her. This is what we can do. We have this ability. Okay, we can talk to other humans. We can talk to our animals this way. We don't even have to be in the same room, right? I can talk to Macy from Kansas, and she's in Pennsylvania with her father, at our home. So I just tuned in. I said, hey, girl, I'll give you an idea of what I said. I don't remember exactly, but it was, what's going on with you? What do you need? Mommy really needs you to stick around. I need you to, we need to fix this because if something happens while I'm gone, your dad won't be able to handle it. And so, just telling her, you got this, come on, we can overcome this. And at the same time, I'm literally having her in my hands energetically and giving her Reiki, and all kinds of energy stuff, just helping her. And I got boom. Don't ask me why I didn't think about this before, but I got boom. You just need to deworm her. She's doing the same thing Lacey was doing, which then I had this aha moment of something is going on nefarious, I think, with our animals. So something's going on. Something bad's going on, and it's affecting our animals. I don't believe that it's our energy affecting them. It can make, if we're anxious, it can make our dog anxious. If we're sad, our dog might be sad. But what was going on with Lacey did not come from my mom, and what was going on with Macy did not come from, our house, our home. Something going on, and obviously parasites, because that is what we did. We dewormed Lacey. She's back to normal. I told Mike, we always have it on hand up in the cabinet. We have several boxes that we just keep. I said, just deworm her. Go, and it was like 8 o'clock at night. I said, go buy a chicken or some chicken, boil it, and give her the chicken with the broth with the packet of powder. Because at this time, we're going on like day 3 of she's not eating it, and it's getting to be nighttime. So that's what Mike did. He went and got the chicken, he boiled it, he put it in the broth, and he texted. And I was getting nervous. I got to be honest, even though I just try to stay out of that zone. I have all these things that popped up making me think, what if? Oh my God, what if? And he texted me and said she just ate it. She gobbled it down. And I was like, oh my God, I knew it. So he continued to deworm her for the 2 more days, the 3 doses. Guys, she's fine, okay? This is one thing we do for our pets is, Macy and Gracie, is we deworm them just about monthly now. And we've been doing it for a long time. And they are, what are you guys now? They're sleeping beside me. I'm so bad with dates with dogs. I believe 6 and 7 or 7 and 8, somewhere in there. But so that is a go-to for us. And I now have my mom on that schedule. She will be deworming Lacey every month right now. My dogs also get ASEA. I do give them ASEA in a dropper bottle. They both get it. I trained them, actually. I had to hold their chins, like hold their hair, and I had to make them take it. And they both get about 1/2 ounce in the morning and then 1/2 ounce in the afternoon before their supper. And what I did is I had to hold their faces, their chin hair, and squirt the dropper bottle in their mouth, go back and forth several times. I think it comes out to like 12 of these little droppers. And in no time, I just sit down, they take it now for Micah or I. They will, or we even had a dog sitter that came in and they took it for her. So they know when they do that, they're going to get then their yummy meal. So I train them to take it. So we can always train them to do things, right? So I wanted to give that as an example, just first of all, the message that I heard before I left. And one reason it really freaked me out, I guess, when it really tugged at my heart was that's what I heard in my head the last phone call I had with my brother. I hung up and I walked into the garage where Mike was sitting having, his beer and watching his TV. And I said, I think that's the last time I'm going to talk to Jeremy. I mean, I didn't even think about it. It just came out of my mouth. And that was the last time I talked to him, via this form of being. Then a recent podcast, I talked about how I shut him down for a long time. I wouldn't even talk to him from wherever he is. I was like, no, I'm not talking to you. Don't even try it. So I had that I had to overcome and realize just because I heard something, again, a similar message saying goodbye to Macy, does not mean that's the outcome. It was up to me to do something, which I did, and I connected with her and asked her what she needed. And I got the hit, like, duh, you need to be dewormed. And so anytime one of them is acting strange, either vomiting or not eating or acting a little like puny, whatever the case may be, and again, it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, we just deworm them. That's all we do, and then they're fine. Again, like I said, we get ours on Amazon, we get PanCure C, and we just have it on hand because we don't want to wait for shipping if one of them comes down with something. Now, so all three dogs, Lacey, Macy, and Gracie, they're all fantastic. And now I want to shift to communicating with our pets from the other side. It's not even a side. They're still around us. I mean, I don't know why we say from the other side. That's just a phrase we all use. I'm sitting here looking for my notes because I was going to share a few different stories. I have connected with a lot of fur babies over the years, including my own. And one thing I wanted to share that my own dogs have really taught me, my dogs that have passed, because I'm just a dog person. I'm an animal lover, but I have always had dogs. One of my dogs, Daisy, if I would have known about this deworming, I think that I would have spared her the last horrific weeks of her life or days of her life. And again, we can't beat ourselves up, right? We do everything we can. And it's another thing we have to think about. We have to really ground in that. And why is it we do things that it's like we will spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because we want to make sure they know we loved them. We didn't give up. And I really have shifted now into we are setting them free state of mind, right? If Macy would not have come out of that and she would have gone downhill and all kinds of things were happening, I would be okay with letting her go. Yes, I would be sad, but it would be okay to let her go. Because Daisy had Crohn's disease and it was very rare. And I remember the specialist saying, there's no cure for this, but if you let us, I'll be teaching my students, we'll be trying to help her and figure out how to cure this, then we'll do it and there'll be no charge, really. Like literally, I think the bill was, oh gosh, it was like $15,000, but they didn't charge me a penny. But here's what happened so she went to the specialist and stayed there for about 10 days, I believe, 10 days or 2 weeks, it's somewhere in there. It was a blur because I was so sad. And she came home. They had gotten it to die down. She was good then. It's a dog with Crohn's. It's just diarrhea all over your house. It's sad. I mean, she didn't it was rough on her, of course. And so she was sitting by me. I just got back from the specialist and she's finally home. I'm like, yes. And she's laying beside me. And it was less than an hour. I look down and I'm like, oh my God, she's like, her stomach looks distended and she is breathing very rapidly. I mean, she's looking at me and her facial expression seems fine, but there's something not right. So I took a video and I sent it to them. I said, this is what she's doing right now. And they said, you need to get down here right now. So what happened is she had a blood clot that traveled to her heart. And so it was time to set her free. And on the drive home, which is about an hour, it's about 45 minutes to an hour drive from the specialist, I just kept saying, you know, give me a sign, show me where you are. And I saw, I get this instant view of her on this beautiful green grass, green grassy knoll, just really pretty scenery with some of my other pets that had passed, some people I knew. So that's good. She sent that, or else that's what I wanted to imagine. Either way, it did feel better. But what happened that night, I just heard driving in the car, just look up in the sky tonight. Well, your head, you go to, oh, was it maybe a shooting star or something? But I didn't, that passed through my mind. I said, okay. So I got home, popped a beer. I said, Mike, because it was dark by then. It's been a long day. Went outside. I said, we're supposed to go outside. She's going to give us a sign. And she delivered. We look at the same sky, right, from your house. You're looking at the same sky all the time. You notice, where certain stars are. And there was a star blinking so brightly that was blue that I had never seen before. Never seen that before. Beautiful blue blinking star, and it was huge. And I knew it was her. And from that day forward, I started seeing blue stars everywhere, whether it's on a tractor trailer down the highway. One time we went to a pizza joint that we went to regularly at that time. We'd been there so many times, and it's a really small family operation. We knew everything on every wall, and yet this night, it was a few nights after we, had set her free. I looked down the end of the bar, and we were sitting there eating our pizza, and I just elbowed Mike, and I said, "Oh my God, look!" And it was a framed blue star that I had never seen before. And I asked them if it was new, and they said, "No, that's like antique. That's been here the whole time." So interesting, right? How the signs will come and things that, wait, I didn't see that ever before, and I've been here like 100 times. And so I wanted to share that because what I would do now differently is I would have just had her last days or hours or whatever to be here at home with us. And I know some might not agree with me on that because, hey, they might find a cure, they might be able to do something. But I think now of that 10 days, what she probably went through, just being scared, all the, witnessing all the stuff happening there, all the noises, it's a very sad place. It is a low, low energy there. And I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad, okay, because I had to work through it myself. I was like, okay, why did I do that? I did that because I wanted to try to save her. I understand that. But hindsight now, I think a much better ending of having her at home with me for whatever time she had left and that she gets to go peacefully, like with, I don't know. Again, these are just things that when I tune in, connect with my departed pets, they give me this wisdom, like, you didn't have to do all that. I knew you loved me, and so just food for thought, just something for you to ponder. Because I understand it's hard, it's hard to let them go, but then does it make sense that we do all the stuff we do, we put them through, plus a lot of times it makes people financially just strapped. You're just done financially because you spent so much money on this, trying to save this beloved pet. Again, something we can all do is tune in and talk to our animals, okay? We can talk whether they're living or they have left this physical avatar that they were in, we can talk to them, okay? They're not suffering anymore. They're not remembering that day of suffering. They don't remember the pain. They are in this joyful puppy-like state. Even if they come through in readings for me as an adult dog, they will have that puppy energy. They might show me like, oh, he's showing me his leg. There's something wrong with his leg, like it got broken or it got hit or his hip or whatever. But it doesn't mean they're experiencing that now, right? They're just showing me so that their mommy or daddy know it's them. I remember, I wanted to tell you some of the readings I've done that were they were actually kind of, tearjerkers, but I was sitting there crying with my client, but we were also laughing. One gal I was doing a reading for, I often get a vision in my head, like a picture, a snippet. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, wait, what is this? I was hoping it would like shift and change into something else that made sense, but I wanted it to make sense for me. But when I'm doing readings, I know that it's not supposed to make sense for me. It's supposed to make sense for my client, whoever I'm doing a reading for. So I finally just said, she's like, what? Just tell me. Tell me, what is it? She knew something was coming through. And I said, well, I'm going to say this. I don't even know how else to say it, just what I see. I see a baby carriage with like two little ferrets in it. And that's all I got out. And she just burst out crying. And she said, oh my God, those were my babies. I took them, I actually rolled them around in a baby carriage. I mean, she's tearing up. I'm laughing so hard, plus tearing up because I feel her compassion, for these animals. And we both just got the biggest laugh. I said, oh my God, I've never got anything like that. So I thought, this is crazy. That's one of a really memorable one for me, are the ferrets in the baby carriage. So I guess what I want to kind of wind up with is I just wanted to share what we are doing with our dogs. That there's stuff going on in the world right now that is crazy, and there are a lot of sick, not just sick humans, there's a lot of sick animals. And this monthly, we're just going to do it monthly from now on. We're not even waiting to see if there's any symptoms. We're just going to be doing it monthly. Again, that's our choice. I didn't research anything, nor would I. I'm never going to research anything on Google. I'm not going to see what Google says. I'm definitely not going to ask AI what they say, and I'm not going to ask my vet. I'm not. I don't even give my dogs shots. Okay, and the vet, they're understanding of that, but I'm not going to let them run tests on them. I'm going to deworm them first and see what happens. Okay, if that doesn't pull them through, I don't know. Maybe I take tests, get them tested, maybe not. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm working with them energetically, and we're deworming them. They're fine. Yes, they're going to leave someday, but I think it's going to be on my terms this time. It's not going to be making my poor babies go through, days and weeks of being away from me and probably terrified and being poked and prodded. And again, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad if you've done that. Okay, guys, I get it. We would do anything for them, right? But then I'm like, Another story that pops up, I guess, before I close this out. I had a friend who had a big dog who was experiencing bleeding out of his backside, his rectum. And I was there for a hair appointment. It was back years ago when I went to someone else. And I said, do you want me to do Reiki with them? I'll work on him while I'm here. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And the vets, I can't remember if they had treated him or were trying to and nothing was happening, or if she hadn't taken him yet. That I don't remember, to be honest. And she said, do you get anything about taking him in? Do I need to take him in? And I just said, no. He said he wants to stay here. He said he doesn't need to go to the vet. He doesn't want to go to the vet. He wants to stay here. So my ego goes to, oh, he's going to be fine, right? He's going to be fine. Well, the next day, she reaches out, and he passed that night. And I was devastated, just maybe for the fact that I had worked on him, and then he passed away, and all these things go through my head, and we're so programmed to start beating ourselves up for stuff, right? Like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't think it was my fault that he's gone. Like, just stupid stuff that we start rolling in our head. And I got a hold of her, and she goes, no, Julia. She said, it all made sense. He was going to go, and he wanted to be with me. He didn't want to be in some hospital or a vet hospital or whatever, all these things being done to him. He wanted to be at home with his mommy. And I was just like, oh my God, that's beautiful. So things don't always turn out how we think that they will. And we have to learn to get out of that ego, that programmed mind that tells us this or that, which is usually bullshit. I know, because I just spent a lot of time in bullshit. A lot of time in bullshit, because I was pissed off about a lot of stuff, after losing my brother. And he is the one that snapped me out of that. Because I would deliver messages to, like his wife or his stepsons or whoever asked for messages from him. I would tell them something, whatever it was that came through, but I wouldn't let him talk to me. I'm like, don't even, Don't even talk to me right now. That was me for real. I'm laughing at myself now. Until one day, I swear to God, it was like, well, it's been almost 2 years, and it was a few months ago, and he's just like, seriously, what the fuck are you doing? You need to get back to what you're good at, and you need to be, you get back helping people. You've got to do your stuff. Like he just, yeah, and I listened. So thanks to my brother, who is one of my guides, along with my all my fur babies, my loved ones, my friends, those that we've lost. They continue to be by my side and cheer me on while I'm here going through this with all of you. So I hope some of this helps, any of this helps, if you're going through anything with your pets. Oh, I have a little note here. One of the things that I've changed with these two dogs is that they're small dogs, and so they say small dogs have extra teeth, and then we got to pull their teeth, and we have to do all these things. And I was determined, I had it scheduled, actually scheduled. They were going to take 15 teeth out of my little Gracie. She's so tiny. She's a little white and brown one. And I will put pictures of Macy and Gracie up as the thumbnail on my YouTube channel, Returning to Light, if you just want to see their picture. I can't do this on I don't do it on the podcast, but I could put it up on the YouTube channel because I just put my podcast there as well. And I had it scheduled, and I started having such anxiety because my other dog that I had at the same time as Daisy passed from Crohn's. Well, no, not from Crohn's. She passed from the blood clot to her heart or lungs. I honestly can't. I think it was her lungs. I said heart. Rosie, I took her in to get teeth taken out. All right. Now, she was eating and everything, so I guess I didn't have to do it, but I did it because they told me she needed to have them taken out. And she didn't come home. She did come out of surgery, and they called me and said, you need to get up here immediately. She had a blood clot that went to her, it was either heart or lungs. So Michael and I went up there, and we set her free. So as I'm going through, life with Macy and Gracie, and I'm tuning in, getting this appointment set, and then I'm getting more anxiety about it, and I'm tuning in, just asking the universe, does she really need to have this? Does she really need to have her teeth taken out? Like, I don't mind having it done when she's not eating, but she's young and she's still eating and she's fine. And I said, give me a sign. Give me a sign if there's something I can do other than this, if this is what I need to do. Well, something popped up on one of my feeds later that day, and it was a tooth powder for dogs. Tooth powder is a powder you can put in their food. So I did research it. I looked it up. Because I'm all into natural stuff. That's all I want. And so I ordered it. I read all the reviews. I said, okay. And I canceled her extraction. My girls have been on that tooth powder for, I'm going to say 7 months maybe. 7 months. Their teeth are improving. It's crazy amazing how much better their teeth are. But my note that I have beside me is what I didn't realize would happen. Macy sometimes has anal gland leakage. She had it since birth. Like sometimes that's not fun, by the way, if you've ever had a dog that has anal gland leakage. Okay. I didn't even know that was going to happen. It had decreased when I started giving them ASEA every day. It had decreased a lot, but once in a while it would pop up, just once in a while out of the blue. And so over the months, I realized, and I said, Mike, Macy doesn't have that anal gland leakage thing anymore. And I believe it was the powder. It is the powder that we put in their food now because it is about, once you research it, it's talking about what it does in their stomachs, which helps with the teeth because it's the juices coming up from the stomach that are also harming the teeth. So, that was just bonus. So she doesn't have that problem anymore. And I know she's happy too, but we are all so ecstatic about that. I talked about a lot of things here. If you want links to any of it, whether it's you can find the Pan-Cure C on Amazon, and it goes by weight, the weight of your dog. Let's see, if you want any information about the tooth powder, the green tooth powder, just send me an email and tell me you want the link, and I'll let you go look at it and do your own research. Just send an email to juliatreat444@gmail.com. All right, send an email about the tooth powder if you want it. I'll send you the link and go check it out. The ASEA, you can always get that on globalasea.com. Julia Treat. There is a contact button on there if you want me to, get hold of you. If you need help with ordering, you have any questions, just let me know. I hope this helped in some way. Perhaps it's for you or someone that you know that is struggling with either a pet right now or are losing a pet. Perhaps share this with them if you think it might help them. But I am grateful for you tuning in, and I don't know, if you liked it, please give me a like, a heart, whatever platform you're listening to or watching on. It does help the algorithm. It helps get it out there a little more. I don't ask for that really ever, but it would help to get the message out. So if you could like it, heart it, share it, comment, whatever, all of it. Sending so much love your way. The light in me sees the light in you, and it is divine.